things got so bad in their world that they legitly were either about to die or things had to be done. Have I been saying spoilers this whole time? This video is gonna have to be cut apart and put together in different orders. Hey y'all, I'm Morgan, and today we are talking about the new book, A Half-Built Garden by Ruthanna Emrys. Thank you so much for clicking on this video, for those of you who are coming back, or for our new viewers. It just means the world to me that you're deciding to click on my videos, so thank you. A Half-Built Garden is a first contact novel. It takes place in 2083, where humanity has spent the past 50 years or so kind of trying to rebuild and save the planet. Instead of having nation states anymore, we have gotten away from that, and we are now mostly led by what they call watersheds, which is coalitions and neighborhoods that, take care of their individual areas, or watershed, where the water comes from. And a majority of this book takes place around the Chesapeake Bay area watershed. There are still governments, kind of, but they have less power because 50 years ago it was called the Dandelion Revolution, and that is where this new technological network came about called the Dandelion Network. And the way it works sounds super, super cool. The technology also in this book is incredible. They have integrated technology where pretty much it sounds like their thoughts connect to the network, and that is how they run the watersheds, the networks, everything. It is a interactive basis where you vote in real time. You post problems, threads onto the network about stuff, and everybody votes for everything. It is very democratic, like much more than having elected people. You legitly are part of the process. Nobody's speaking for you. You're voting yourself. Everything is handled by each other. Also, all jobs are kind of not really shared, but everybody is working towards making things better. Everybody is actually doing things, doing jobs to take care of the community. So I like that this book took such a social stance on how humanity is saving the planet. We are no longer just like talking about it or kind of working on it. Things got so bad in their world that they legitly were either about to die or things had to be done. And now things are finally starting to get better on the planet. Things that I liked about the book is how it looked at family and your jobs not really defining you or having to define you, but you could be this, and the way that it worked together, like the family unit that they formed and how they all worked together towards goals. The technology that they come up with, like the Dandelion Network mesh system and visual lenses, and even what her wife Carol, she made fabric sensors. So pretty much, she makes clothing. She tries to make clothing things that have built-in sensors and things that work like that. So I really, really liked the way that this book approached all of that. It was just super cool. And even though we were only ever seeing through Judy's perspective, the way that it did have the network thoughts and everything, and how she tried to work together, I think it was just beautifully written and the way it was done. And I listened to the audiobook of it, and the narrator, I loved the way she voiced it and the inflection she would put on things. Superb. Amazing. The thought too of what this would do, how it would change our planet, the emotional thought process of all of this. Also, because of this integrated network thing, which it's like a thing you wear though, so you don't have to know about it like all the time. But because of this though, it will give the people who are directly responsible for the ecological type things, like our main character Judy, warning notices though. Like she wakes up in the middle of the night to and noticed that there are weird unknown pollutants in the Chesapeake area. She doesn't know for sure if it's a false alarm or not. She kind of thinks it is, but she tells her wife about it, and they decide, since it is kind of a warmish night and the baby's a little fussy, that they will both go down there and take the baby and just like see if it'll calm her down and get her to go to sleep. Because of this, though, the dynamic of the whole book is shifted. Like, if they did not take the baby, it would have been so much different. They probably never would have talked to Judy. But she does. So the visitors do come out of the ship carrying their own small children. I'm going to go that Diamond and Chlorophyll were probably toddlers, especially considering that they talk and they interact with Judy's other kind of daughter. They have a co-parenting situation with other parents where they all live in the same household and do this co-parenting thing. They make it seem like it's normal and most people do it in the book, so I don't know. But Raven, I think, is 3, and the babies from the ship and Raven get along immediately and start playing together and learning each other's languages, which Diamond and Chlorophyll, on the way, to Earth, they've already kind of grasped the English language very well, which they learned our English language from our broadcast that we've sent out into space. So old music and shows and everything like that. That is what our visitors have learned about us from. So they haven't really seen the newer type of things. So when they were broadcasting messages back to us, it was on radio waves. So it took Judy and Carol, her wife, a little while to figure out like how to speak to them. They went through like all the different types of transmissions from their own dandelion network, working kind of backwards, broadband, all this stuff until they do reach radio waves. And they find out that everything coming from the ship is different musical pieces, and by connecting to their network, telling them what they're hearing, what they're seeing, somebody, puts it together that, oh, all of these things are from messages we've sent out where the incoming aliens were friendly. They were all, were here and wanted to actually talk. They were friendly, nothing violent. And they're like, okay, so they're trying to tell us that, they come in peace. And they do. They do come in peace. They weren't trying to like do anything to us except save us. Like legitly, they were here because they have seen other worlds die. They've been on a mission pretty much to save other worlds throughout the universe. And anytime they receive transmissions, they try to travel to that world as fast as possible. And they've never made it in time. Like, we are the first species that they have made it in time. So they're very adamant on saving us. And of course, Judy and the Watershed people are very adamant on, well, we're already saving our planet. We don't want to leave. Or if we leave, we don't want to be forced to leave. Like, sure, we can travel, but we're not going to abandon Earth. We want our kids to still know Earth and have that as an option. So the discussions of the book take place along those sorts of lines, and it is not just like one species that is on the ship. It is multiple species, and not just sentient, speaking species. Like, they have their own birds and insects and every pets. They have little lizard thing pets, and it's adorable. But to them, having kids there at negotiations and important discussions is a must-have. If you don't have your kids with you, you must not be trustworthy. Obviously, if you don't think that you can bring your kids to this, then you think that something's going to go wrong or violent. And as Judy said, that probably would have solved so many disagreements on Earth and made so many people work things out better, because anytime you have to stop to feed a baby, change a baby, or, you start getting angry so the baby starts screaming and you have to calm it down, and it'll calm yourself down. And things can take, an actual nice, well, not nice, but intelligent debating form, and negotiations could actually follow a good path, possibly, and things would have been solved maybe so much easier throughout all of it. But of course, aliens landed on Earth, so it's not just this particular group that knows about it or anything. Everybody finds out. So NASA is still around, not so much a thing though. they send representatives, and the first ones the aliens don't really want to talk to because they don't have kids. So they pull a lady off maternity leave and send her and her baby. I feel so sorry for that lady because that, yeah. But Victoria St. John, I think. I don't remember. She was very smart, and the way she handled stuff was very diplomatic. And because she was there, I feel like Judy's interactions when the corporation people started sending stuff went much better because she was able to kind of, get her to understand the middle ground of it. Like, NASA's people were definitely in the middle ground. Of course they want to go to space. But they also, respect that Earth is our home planet and we don't want to lose that. They don't want to lose that for their kids either. The corporations, though. When the Dandelion Revolution happened and the governments kind of took more of a backseat to the ecological people who were going to be saving the world, they suppressed all the corporations. The corporations kind of live in their own little area of the planet now, so they can, they want to kill the planet, they want to keep living this extravagant lifestyle and not care much about the planet. That's where they are. They still have to follow these legal regulations, though, set by the watersheds and kind of the governments, that they're not allowed to do much. The corporations still do make several things, though, that is used throughout the world, but it's on a much more limited and controlled basis. And then the watershed networks and the corporations, the people individually who grew up in the different areas have animosity towards each other. They pretty much have misinformation about the way they take care of people as well. And when you go to where the corporations live, as they do travel to there in the book, it's nuts, really. It's so nuts. It's very extravagant, and it's just something completely out there. The power trippy games. Have I been saying spoilers this whole time? This video is going to have to be cut apart and put together in different orders. The only negative thing I had about it is somewhere in the middle of the book, Judy did start to make some decisions that seemed slightly out of character because she was nervous and scared. But yeah, she kind of got voted as, the representative, though, because she was the one that made first contact. And even though she felt she was supremely unqualified, though she did hold a fairly high position in her watershed, she has done some political negotiations before, but she felt supremely unqualified for this. But as she was the first one there, her network, was like, okay, you can handle a lot of this. But even more than her network supporting her a little bit, because they did try to send other people, the aliens, or ringers as they were called, they're like, nope, we're only going to deal with Judy. And when Judy tried to show up without her daughter Dory, they're like, oh my god, did something happen to Dory? What's the matter? And she's like, no, she's just at home because we don't generally bring our children everywhere. But she quickly learned the mistake from that, and Dory went everywhere. So Dory was an integral part of our interplanetary negotiations as she cooed in her little 6 to 8 month old babiness. And it's adorable. There's a whole sequence too of her starting to learn to crawl. It wasn't long, but it was just adorable because it was just not just her parents witnessing it, but also the ringers and seeing this is our, this is how we learn, this is how we grow, this is the determination of our species, and just turning it into a moment. It was adorable. I think also the book left it open to where it could be possibly expanded on, but it had a very good ending, and I'm not going to say much because you should read it. It was just very beautifully done. This is a first contact novel that, wasn't scary. I feel it was hopefully realistic. Probably not, Either us or whoever first contacts us is probably going to be aggressive because that's just the reality of humanity. But if it could be like that, I think it would be awesome. I think we could actually make friends in the universe. I love this book, though. It is a 4.25 stars at least. I'm trying to do it mathematically, so I haven't done that part. Just emotionally, I'm gonna give it that much. And yeah, I should probably wrap this video up though, because a kid's gonna be coming downstairs and be loud soon, probably, or the camera battery is gonna die. if it hasn't already. I have no idea how long this video is, but thank you guys so much for joining me again and supporting me, and hopefully this video comes out okay as I try to move things around, because I think I definitely talked out of order a little bit. Just a little bit. My first review video back. Obviously, I've forgotten how to do things. If I ever was good at them in the first place, you guys will have to tell me. I do hope, though, everyone who likes sci-fi, first contactee, anything like that novels will check this out, because it was just an incredible read, for sure. And if you're not checking this out, I hope you're finding something awesome to read anyway, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.